Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so you know that feeling when you've got these massive, world-changing dreams, but when it comes time to actually do something about them, you just can't muster the energy? Yeah, we've absolutely all been there. Today, we're going to bridge that incredibly frustrating gap between having those big ambitions and making them a concrete reality. We're going to do it by hacking laziness and mastering what we call micro-movements.
Let's start with a feeling we all know entirely too well. You stare down this massive goal and you tell yourself, hey, I'll just do it tomorrow, right? But then tomorrow rolls around and what happens? You say the exact same thing. It's so frustrating. You genuinely want to do these great things, but taking that very first step just feels impossibly hard. Look, I want to completely validate that frustration for you right now. It is a heavy feeling, and honestly, it can make you feel completely stuck in neutral.
And that leads us to this really painful paradox. On the one hand, you've got these big dreams, right? Writing a book, getting fit, learning a new language. But on the other hand, your daily reality is, well, zero action. It's just endlessly scrolling on your phone or binge-watching TV. It's literally the curse of being ambitious but feeling lazy. You've got the vision, sure, but your actual day-to-day is a stark contrast to what you actually want to achieve.
Okay, so here is the crucial point, and let's completely relieve you of that guilt right now. We need to redefine what laziness actually is. It is not a permanent character flaw. It's really not who you are. Laziness is just a temporary habit, a biological mechanism. See, when a task feels too massive, your brain actually interprets that overwhelm as a literal form of pain. And what does the human brain do when it anticipates pain? It immediately seeks the comfort of the couch. It's an ancient, hardwired survival tactic, not a moral failing.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap to dismantle that overwhelm. We'll cover the procrastination trap, Habit 1, shrinking the task, Habit 2, building easy routines, Habit 3, the 2-minute rule. And finally, we'll put it all together into your step-by-step action plan.
Part 1. The procrastination trap.
You see, getting stuck is purely a biological mechanism. It absolutely doesn't mean you don't care about your goals. It's just that when a task feels too hard, your brain immediately defaults to, yeah, let's do something easier instead. This is exactly why when you suddenly decide you're going to run 5 miles every single day, or just cut out all of your spending at once, you totally freeze. The goal feels like an impossible mountain, so your brain just avoids it entirely. You really can't out-willpower this wiring, but you can outsmart it.
Which brings us to Part 2. Habit 1, shrink the task.
And this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept. Because big tasks trigger fear, the absolute best solution is to break them down into completely microscopic steps. If your big goal is to write a 200-page book, honestly, the mere thought of that is going to paralyze you. So your micro movement? Write one single sentence. That's literally it. Want to learn an entire song on the guitar? Just practice one single chord. You want to drop the barrier to entry so incredibly low that your brain simply cannot say no to it.
Let's look at this incredible quote from our source material that really grounds the idea. Think of it like climbing a mountain. You don't jump to the top. You take one step, then another. The absolute key to this entire explainer is to shift your focus completely away from perfection and purely onto incremental progress. Those small wins, they really do add up over time, and they create a very real, tangible psychological momentum.
Moving right along, Part 3. Habit 2. Build easy routines.
To actually make these micro movements happen automatically, you have got to stop relying on willpower. Seriously, willpower is just like a battery on your phone. It eventually runs out. By the time you're tired at the end of the day, it's at zero. Instead, you need to rely on routines by setting up really easy physical cues. For instance, if your micro movement is to exercise, put your running shoes right next to your bed the night before. Boom. You're completely removing the friction of making a decision.
I absolutely love this analogy from the text. Think of routines like training wheels. They provide the structure and momentum to make habits natural. I really want you to ask yourself right now, what is one small routine you can set up today? Maybe it's chugging a glass of water the absolute second you wake up, or just writing a quick to-do list while your morning coffee is brewing. It's these tiny, simple structures that perfectly support the micro movements we just talked about.
All right, Part 4, Habit 3, the 2-minute rule.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how incredibly low this barrier to entry is. The universal truth is that the absolute hardest part of any task is simply starting it. So you just promise yourself 2 minutes of effort. 2! That is your only commitment.
If you want to clean your room, promise you will only clean for exactly 120 seconds. You are essentially negotiating with your brain, saying, hey, come on, it's just 2 minutes. We can totally survive that. Because what happens next is actually magical. It's exactly like pushing a ball down a hill. That very first push, just overcoming that initial inertia, is really hard. But after that, the ball just rolls on its own. By committing to read just one single page, or maybe clean just one corner for 2 minutes, you overcome that initial heavy resistance. Once you start, physics and psychology basically take over, and it becomes so much easier to simply keep going.
And that brings us to part 5, your step-by-step action plan. Let's bring all 3 of these core habits together into a unified daily checklist to defeat procrastination right now. Step 1, prep the easy routine. Put the running shoes out. Leave the guitar on the stand where you can see it. Step 2, set the 2-minute timer to give your brain a nice, safe boundary. And step 3, do the micro task. Play that one chord. Write that one single sentence. It really is that simple to apply these habits in real life and overcome procrastination literally today.
Oh, and I absolutely have to include this incredible bonus tip from our source. Celebrate starting. Seriously, give yourself a small reward right after your 2 minutes of effort. Listen to your absolute favorite song, or intentionally take a short, guilt-free break. Doing this creates a positive feeling associated with the act of starting, which literally rewires your brain to motivate you to want to do it all over again tomorrow.
I want to leave you with this thought. The people you admire the most, the ones out there doing truly incredible things, they all started small. And believe me, they all struggled with this exact same thing too. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to start. Your dreams right now might just be a tiny spark, but every single micro movement, every little 2-minute action you take is exactly like adding fuel. Keep adding that fuel, and soon, through consistency rather than perfection, you are going to have a roaring fire.
So, my final question to you is this. What are you going to spend 2 minutes on today? Seriously, don't wait for the perfect moment. Pick one tiny, manageable thing, set that timer, and take a small step right now before you even click away. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Now go make those dreams happen.